Udah mulai.
So, good morning, everyone. We are from Interpreting Group 4, and today we are going to present our discussion regarding the interpreting assignment for midterm. So, first thing first, we're going to introduce ourselves. My name is Nadya Putri Kinasih with class student number 069.
My name is Shakila Ilma S with last student number 003.
My name is Luvian Dhini Erwansyah with the last three digits 067.
My name is Muhammad Imam Baiqagi with real student number 070.
My name is Aufarrel Afila Henanda with last student number 072.
Okay, for the first material, my partner will take over.
Okay, thank you, Nadya. So I'm going to start. I'm going to walk us through a brief introduction of what was going on in the video. So the video presented a demonstration of a bilateral negotiation between the US and China over textile and steel products exports. In the video, we were presented with some problems in interpreting um, different languages, especially. And the main problems that we found were there were no cultural adaptations being made, and the use of third person and unfamiliarity with the context. These three main problems were important to highlight because when there were no cultural adaptations being made, the culture of the source language could be mistaken for other demands or new requests by the target language. And the use of third person somehow gives the impression of taking away the attention from the participants and focusing instead on the interpreter. And unfamiliarity with the context gives even more difficulty to deliver the intended meaning across the target language because unfamiliarity with the context only gives you literal meaning instead of the intended meaning, which was always contextual and different and changing regarding the context or the situation at that time. And the theory related, concepts related, will be explained by my friend.
Thank you, Luvian. So I want to explain about interpreting and theory itself. So interpreting is the oral transfer of meaning from a source language to a target language in real time. Unlike translation, it focuses on conveying sense rather than words. According to the interpretive theory of translation by Lederer, interpreting involves three stages. First, comprehension, deverbalization, deverbalization, and expression. This shows that meaning is processed cognitively, not just linguistically. Next. The next is quality and skills of interpreter. The quality of interpreting depends on how well the intended meaning is conveyed, not word for word accuracy. And a good interpreter needs strong listening and analytical skills, cultural awareness, excellent bilingual proficiency, and the last one is good memory and note taking skills. Understanding context and intention is essential to avoid misinterpretation and ensure effective communication.
Okay, next is analysis. So for this part, we're gonna analyze the interpreter's performance using Daniel Gell's effort model. This model shows that interpreting involves managing several mental processes at once, such as listening and analysis, memory, production, and also coordination. When the cognitive load becomes too high, mistakes are more likely to happen. So first of all, in this video, the first issue appears in the listening and analysis stage. The interpreter has difficulty interpreting culturally nuanced phrases. These expressions depend heavily on context, especially in formal negotiations, so the meaning is not always accurately conveyed. Second, production. The production stage is also affected. The interpreter sometimes uses third person references instead of following the speaker's original perspective. This reduces clarity and makes the communication feel less direct. And the third one, memory. The memory effort is also challenged since the interpreter has to process fast and complex information. This can lead to omissions or slight changes in meaning. And lastly, coordination. Coordination of all these efforts seems overloaded. Overall, the interpreter's role shifts between being a bridge and a barrier, depending on how well these processes are managed. Next.
So next is the analysis in views from the ITT perspective, which is the interpretive theory of translation that was argued by Danica Selskovic and Mary Ann Litterer. So this theory argues that interpreting actually focuses on understanding and conveying the meaning, but not in a word-for-word translation. So interpreting should ensure the sense consistency and a logical cohesion that is also argued by Giles 2019. However, in the video, the interpreter actually relies on literal translation, which then fails to reconstruct and reformulate the meaning, which also leads to miscommunication between the participants and a few lot of misunderstandings. So this theory should work better because it would make the translation looks more natural and less robotic. It can also uh, keep the key terms uh, when designing slides and presentations. It is also easier to present verbally without reading the bullets entirely. Next, please. So why the interpretation from the interpreter in the video actually failed? Because words that was translated, for examples, in the example, this word is translated as you are tired, where it loses the meaning of appreciation. When also another word is translated as I have no opinion, when it should have mean no objection. Also, when what was stated from my friend, the use of third person of he said, this reduces the direct communication. These issues led to confusion and interruptions among the participants and ultimately resulted in a breakdown in the negotiation process. So the intended meaning is not accurately conveyed from the recipient and the listener. Next, please.
Okay, so to conclude our discussion today, we are agree that both participants, the speaker, and also the interpreters are both as important in the process of interpreting, and interpreters are demanded to perform several processes simultaneously, one after the other, immediately. So, start from listening, understanding, and reformulating the dialogue under time pressure. So, when during the process of interpreting, the interpreter may face difficulties because they have to do many things at once, which sometimes can exceed someone's capability. So, in order to avoid this mistake, we can uh, learn something to perform better as an interpreter. The first one is an interpreter has to accurately determine meaning and intention while also being sensitive to the speaker. Therefore, a good interpreter has to be equipped with awareness and understanding of the particular cultural context and the field of expertise they are interpreting. A good interpreter also has to focus on interpreting the main idea instead of word for word literal translation to maintain conciseness and to avoid vague sentences. So the sentences won't be misleading as the one in the video. And lastly, interpreters have to place themselves as an invisible catalyst for the both parties involved. So that's all from our presentation today. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.